Exactly, exactly. Perfect. Actually, I started as a mascot 4 years ago. Ian Scratcher in the Eye, who plays for the Heathers, were friends, and we had lived together years and years ago, and she convinced me to mascot for the Heathers when we went up to Seattle. And I was dressed in all baby blue Heathers gear. A couple weeks later, I was working the counter at Voodoo Doughnut downtown, and Rocco, who used to be an announcer for the Rose City Rollers, came in and remembered me from that game. And then we got to talking, and I used to speed skate as a child. So he convinced me to come out and try to referee, and I basically had to teach myself how to skate again, and did every game since then. 101 of roller derby. All right, I'll use Doughnuts to kind of show you how to do that. So we'll do one team as the plain cake donut here. Put these down. These are your 4 blockers. And your other team here, your 4 blockers, chocolate, vanilla. The pivot up front with the stripe on their helmet. Try to put a little stripe there. And then the other team's pivot with a white stripe helmet. You got a front starting line up here, the pivots line up there. Your other blockers, called the 2, 3, and 4, just basically signifying how far back they go. They'll line up in a bunch behind the pivots to start the game. You then have 2 more players, and we'll use a maple old fashioned for the plain cake team and a chocolate old fashioned. These are your jammers, so to speak, your star. They have a star on their helmet. There's 2 sets of whistles to start a jam. The first whistle will get the pack going, they'll start moving. As soon as the last players cross that start line, a double whistle will go off, and that's when these 2 will start going. First time through the pack, if you can get through first without committing any penalties or stepping out of bounds before you reach the pack, you are lead jammer, which means at any point you put your hands on your hips, call the jam off. It seems like a small thing, but it's actually the most important rule in the game. It controls the game pretty much. Call it off! Call it! So the first time through is to establish lead jammer. Every time they come around after that and come through, there is points scored for every member of the opposing team that you pass. If you only pass 1, you call it off or the time runs up, a 2-minute timeline. Then you only get 1 point. However, if you continue through and you pass all 4, you're gonna get a point for each one of those players. On top of that, penalties are a big part of roller derby. You're gonna see elbowing, forearms, back blocking, pushing, tripping. These are all things that will get you sent to the penalty box. When you're in the penalty box, you're not on the track, there's only 3 out here. That doesn't mean that your opposing jammer can only score 3. It means the first person they pass is worth anyone that's not on the court at that point. Also, if they're not within play, say they're 20 feet outside the pack, which is the group of skaters. Anyone 20 feet outside there, you pass that first player, the jam ends, they're scored upon too. So you need to stay within the pack to keep them from scoring while also not letting them pass you. And that's kind of the basics.